They mocked humanity at the Galactic Council. Then Earth's entire fleet vanished overnight. The stellar Concord hull hung above a blue gas giant like a mountain of glass. Inside, the chamber curved around Ambassador Marcus Hale. Floating platforms moved in slow circles, each one holding a different alien species. Marcus stood on the human platform in a plain dark suit, hands clasped behind his back. No armor, no grand symbols. That was the plan. Beside him, his aide Lena Torres checked her tablet. Her fingers moved fast, but her jaw was tight. "They're going to laugh at us," she whispered. "I know," Marcus said. The lights dimmed. A deep chime rolled through the air. Symbols spun over the center as the session began. The presiding voice, a drifting cloud of silver shards, floated into view. "Next item," it said. "Petition from species, human." A ripple moved through the hall. Some platforms leaned closer. Others drifted back like an audience waiting for a joke. Archlord Jarix of the Vrail Dominion rose first. Tall and scaled, with 4 golden eyes, he looked down at the human platform. "The humans," Jarix said, voice booming. "They request expanded trade lanes." He paused. "And a permanent seat on the defensive strategy circle." Soft laughter answered him. Easy, relaxed laughter. Jarix spread his arms. A hologram appeared in the center. Human warships spun slowly in the air. Gray hulls. Scarred engines. "These are their ships," he said. 300 vessels. No shields. No phase plasma. Kinetic cannons that throw metal like stones. The view shifted. Next to the human ships appeared a Vrail battleship, a crystal cruiser, a living cloud from the Swarm clans. The human fleet looked like toys beside giants. The laughter grew. Lena's fingers dug into the rail. "They think we're clowns," she muttered. Marcus did not move. His face stayed calm. A jellyfish-like being from the Leth Combine floated forward. "Humans have been in space for 1 century," it said. "They hold 20 systems. The Combine holds 9,000. A child race asks to sit among elders." More soft laughter. For long minutes, the hall spoke around the humans. Always around, never to. They compared fleets, history, firepower. Every word meant the same thing. "You are small. You are weak. You do not belong here." At last, the presiding voice turned toward the human platform. "Ambassador Marcus Hale of Earth," it said. "You may respond." Lena glanced at him. "We can still walk away," she breathed. Marcus stepped forward. His voice was clear and steady. "We came here in peace," he said. "We came offering trade, science, defense. For 100 years, we have followed every rule. We have honored every treaty. We asked one thing in return." He paused. "Respect." Some nearby platforms shifted. "We know we are young," Marcus went on. "We know we are small. But we believe this hall cared about more than age and numbers. We believed you valued what a species can do, not only how long it has existed." Jarix laughed, low and sharp. "And what can you do, human? Throw rocks a little faster." More chuckles. Marcus turned and met the Vrail's eyes. His own eyes were calm, but there was something deep behind them, something that made Counselor JYRN of the Keth Union, high on his platform, feel a small, cold knot in his chest. "What we can do," Marcus said quietly, "is our own concern." The laughter faded. "For a century, we have stood here as polite newcomers," he said. "We bowed. We smiled. We accepted your jokes. Today, you made your view of us clear." He bowed, short and formal. "Thank you," he said. "We understand now." He turned away. Lena followed. The guide field caught their platform and drew it toward the exit. Behind them, the noise in the hall rose again. Laughter, small arguments, whispers. Only JYRN kept watching the shrinking human shape as it drifted downward. That, he thought, was not the walk of a man who had lost. It was the walk of someone who had just stopped pretending to lose. Counselor JYRN woke to the sound of alarms pulsing through his living chamber. His neural link flickered with unread messages, each stamped with the highest alert level. He sat up fast, gills tightening. Something was wrong, very wrong. He opened the first report. It was from a patrol station near the edge of Concord space. "All human ships have disappeared." JYRN blinked, thinking it was a system error. Then the next message arrived. And the next. And the next. Human vessels in every region, trade ships, research vessels, embassy escorts, gone. Not destroyed. Not attacked. Gone. No jump signature. No distress call. No debris. Just silence. JYRN pulled himself out of bed and rushed into the corridor, moving faster than most of his species ever would. Aliens of every form filled the walkways, confused and afraid. The whole station was alive with frantic voices. He reached the council command hall. Screens hovered in the air, projecting chaotic data feeds. Several ambassadors shouted over one another. No one understood what was happening. Commander Yalith from the steel clade looked pale under her metal plates. Our sensors captured nothing. One moment the humans were there. The next, their signatures vanished entirely. Impossible, someone muttered. No species can hide hundreds of ships at the same time. JYRN stayed silent, thinking. His mind replayed Marcus Hale's final expression yesterday. Not defeated. Not fearful. Something colder. Prepared. A new alert chimed. This one from Heliotrope Station, a major trade hub. The Terran consulate is sealed. All human personnel missing. Security footage rolled onto the main display. The consulate door was intact, closed. When guards forced it open, they found empty rooms, every drawer cleaned out, every personal item removed. Only the walls and furniture remained. In the main office sat a single object, a small earth plant in a white pot. Next to it lay a handwritten message. Thank you for your kindness. We will remember this chapter well. Terran Diplomatic Corps. The room fell into silence. Remember this chapter well? Was that gratitude or something else? Before anyone could interpret it, another feed appeared, this time from a human colony planet called Eden 4. A patrol team had landed to investigate. The video showed clean streets, houses intact, lights on. No smoke, no destruction, but no humans. Tens of thousands of people gone. Beds were made, plates stacked neatly, transportation bays empty. No ships had launched. Spaceport logs showed no activity. Inside the governor's office, a final message glowed on the main console. Thank you for allowing us to settle here. The colony is yours. We will not return. The feed cut. Panic broke loose. They evacuated without ships. Where did they go? Why leave everything running? What is happening? JYRN stepped back from the chaos, heart pounding. This was not random. Not a disaster. Not an attack. This was a plan. A quiet, perfectly executed exodus. He accessed long-range telescope archives, hoping to see Earth for himself. The image zoomed into the Sol system, but as the view approached the inner planets, the screen turned dark, filled with static. A sensor block? A cloaking field? No one had ever seen anything like it. A final message appeared in the command hall. Probe attempted entry into Terran space. No contact. Probe lost. A hush fell. JYRN closed his eyes slowly. He knew now, knew the shape of the truth forming beneath the panic. Humanity had not run away. Humanity had stepped out of sight. On their own terms. With their own agenda. And Marcus Hale's quiet voice echoed in his memory. We understand now. JYRN's gills shivered. What exactly had humanity understood? And what were they preparing for? Counselor JYRN sat alone in a quiet analysis room deep inside the Concord station. The chaos outside had only grown louder, but he needed silence. He needed to think. He opened the Unified Data Archive and began pulling every recorded human ship encounter from the last century. Millions of files appeared. Trade logs, border scans, patrol reports, embassy escorts, random sightings near mining routes. At first it looked normal. Then he noticed something strange. 2 reports, 20 years apart, listed different human ships with the same name, yet totally different hull patterns. One ship was long and narrow. The other was short with heavy armor. Both were labeled TSS Aurora. Both had official human registry codes. JYRN frowned. He searched for more duplicates. He found dozens, then hundreds. Every time he compared them, the same problem appeared. Human ships did not match each other. Different shapes, different engines, different energy signatures, but always the same official model names and numbers. It made no sense. He called in Chief Analyst Pharaoh, a short, stone-skinned being known for brutal honesty. Is this a clerical mistake? JYRN asked. Pharaoh looked through the data for several minutes. His rocky eyebrows tightened. No, these are not errors. These are different ships pretending to be the same ships. JYRN felt a cold wave crawl down his spine. Pharaoh began running deeper scans across old sensor logs. After a long silence, he spoke again, voice lower now. Counselor, According to all collected sightings, the humans should have at least 2,000 distinct military vessels. JYRN almost dropped his tablet. They publicly reported 300. Yes, Pharaoh replied. 300. Yet our records show 10 times that number. JYRN stared at the star map on the wall. It felt like the galaxy had suddenly tilted. How could a young species hide such a thing? Why would they hide it? Another alert popped into view from a research station that had once examined a retired Terran frigate decades ago. The message read, RE analysis complete. Technology does not match Terran claims. JYRN opened the attached scan. The old fusion drive the scientists had examined years earlier was not a fusion drive. A miniature device sat inside the casing, silent, functioning, and far beyond Concord understanding. The fusion shell around it was simply decoration, a disguise. Why hide advanced tech behind old tech? JYRN whispered. Pharaoh exhaled slowly. Because the Concord expects humans to be primitive. And humans understand politics better than we thought. More reports flooded in. A border outpost sent a message stating that a human freighter from 30 years ago had engine patterns identical to an advanced test engine found only in classified Concord prototypes. Another station had a recording of a civilian, human ship that accelerated in a way no chemical or fusion engine should. A cargo hauler once declared destroyed in a pirate attack appeared in another system 3 years later. Everything was wrong. Everything. Pharaoh pointed at the data wall. Counselor, this is deliberate. A coordinated deception spanning generations. JYRN swallowed. Only one species in the Concord was known for cultural unity strong enough to maintain a lie across centuries. Humans. He remembered Marcus Hale's calm face. The way he had not broken under laughter. The way he walked out of the chamber with quiet confidence. Perhaps they were never weak, JYRN murmured. Perhaps they only pretended to be. Pharaoh nodded. The real question is why. Before JYRN could answer, another message flashed across the room. Urgent. Abandoned Terran facility investigated. Discovery. Fake fusion reactor housing. Inside. Unknown power core, still active. Photos appeared. Machinery glowing faint blue. Perfectly stable. Hidden inside a steel shell meant to look old-fashioned. The report ended with chilling words. If humans can hide this inside an embassy, what have they hidden inside their ships? Inside their colonies? Inside their silence? JYRN lowered the tablet slowly. Humanity hadn't vanished because they were running. No, they had pulled back their mask. And whatever lay underneath was far larger than anything the Concord had believed. Counselor JYRN walked quickly down the glass hallway toward the Concord archives. He carried a small stack of data chips, each one filled with human ship logs and technology reports. None of it made sense. The numbers didn't match. The stories didn't match. The entire picture didn't match. He needed answers. The archive room was quiet and cold. Long rows of digital scrolls hovered in the air, glowing faint blue. JYRN activated the main console and uploaded everything the analysts had discovered. The system began sorting human activity across a century. Patterns appeared, thin, faint, almost shy. Then the system merged colonial maps with exploration records. JYRN's gills froze. The human colonies were not placed randomly. Eden 4, New Seattle, Horizon Reach, Port Meridian. Every single one sat within short travel distance of ancient ruins known as ancestor sites. Old structures left by a vanished empire from 10,000 years ago. JYRN whispered to himself. This cannot be coincidence. He tapped a command. The map zoomed out, showing the entire Concord region. Blue dots marked known ancestor ruins. Gold dots marked human settlements. Thin lines showed human exploration paths. A strange shape emerged, a curved pattern like a net or a scanning wave. The humans had been moving along these ruins systematically, as if following instructions. JYRN saved the visualization and rushed to the Council's investigation chamber. Several high-ranking officials were already there, including Commander Yalith of the Steel Clade and Scholar Menoth of the Voss Alliance. He projected the map in front of them. For a century, humanity has acted like explorers, JYRN said. But look at this. Does this look like random exploration? The others leaned forward. Menoth's eyes widened. This is the search pattern. A structured one. They were moving from site to site, in correct order. Yalith frowned. Correct order? How do you know the order? Minoth hesitated. Because my people have studied ancestor ruins for 5,000 years. There is a hidden frequency signature in some of their structures. A trail only specialists recognize. She pointed to the line of human movements. They are following the ancestor signal exactly. JYRN felt his heart sink. So they knew. Yes, Minoth whispered. They knew there was something to find. A sudden alert echoed through the chamber. A scout vessel had returned early from a system humans visited 50 years ago. JYRN opened the transmission. Counselor JYRN, this is Scout Captain Wren. We drilled under the rock formations of the barren planet. We found something enormous. Static crackled, then a shaky image appeared. A vast underground chamber. Walls carved with flowing symbols. Giant machines shaped like interlocking rings. Energy conduits running along the floor. But the most shocking part wasn't the machines. It was the tool marks. Clean, sharp cuts. Made by Terran alloy blades. Recently, these machines are alive, Wren said. Not ancient. Maintained. Serviced. And from the residue on the metal. Humans were here less than 6 months ago. The room fell silent. Minoth whispered what everyone was thinking. They were activating something. Yalitha's voice was low. Or repairing something left unfinished. JYRN zoomed in on a carving on the chamber wall. A spiral galaxy was drawn, and at the far edge was a dark, spreading shape. Beneath it was the ancestor warning symbol, a circle broken by a jagged line. The same symbol appeared in every ruin. What does it mean? JYRN asked. Minoth swallowed hard. Danger, catastrophe, or something worse. JYRN stared at the dark shape for a long moment. He remembered Marcus Hale standing silent under the council's laughter. The calm eyes, the quiet voice, the steady walk. Humans had not been ignored victims. They had been observers, watching the Concord reveal its arrogance, watching its narrow thinking, watching how it treated the weak. JYRN felt his stomach twist. Humans did not leave because they were insulted. They left because they were done waiting. He turned to the others. We need to understand what the humans found in these ruins. We need every scout ship we have. But even as he spoke, he knew deep inside. Whatever humanity discovered, they were learning it for a reason. A reason the Concord was never prepared to face. For the first time in many years, the Great Concord Analysis Hall was completely quiet. No laughter. No debates. No political speeches. Only fear. Counselor JYRN stood with a team of experts around a large circular display table. A projection of the galaxy rotated slowly above it. Blue stars, gold routes, white clusters. Beside the map, dozens of research files hung in the air like floating sheets of light. At the center of them all was a human name. Dr. Lyra Chun, Terran xenoarchaeologist. Scholar Minoth tapped the display. This human scientist published over 80 papers on ancient ruins. Most were ignored by our academies. We thought they were guesswork. She paused. But they were not guesses. JYRN leaned closer. He had already read through a few of Chen's papers. They were written in calm, simple language. Nothing bold. Nothing suspicious. Most just talked about old structures, energy crystals, or strange carvings. But now Minoth pulled up a hidden layer of her research, citations, notes, private logs recovered from abandoned human research stations. These calculations, Minoth said, pointing at a glowing formula, matched the energy patterns of ancestor warp cores. Almost exactly. JYRN's eyes widened. She solved it. No, Minoth answered. She reversed it. She took the ancestor design and rewrote it using Terran math. Pharaoh, the stone-skinned analyst, added, "Look at this propulsion signature." The humans claimed it was a test fusion pattern, but it matches an ancestor slipstream engine. Another file opened. Dr. Chen's personal notes from 56 years ago. We cannot publish the full truth. They are not ready. They would panic. We must learn quietly, or all will be lost. JYRN felt his chest tighten. They were not ready. Who was they? The humans? The Concord? The whole galaxy? Scholar Minoth opened another file, this one from a Terran engineering lab. It showed a sketch of a massive defensive array, rings of energy gates forming a curved line along the edge of the galaxy. This, Minoth whispered, is no human invention. This is ancestor design. A shield wall, a border, a last line. And humans were rebuilding it, JYRN murmured. Yalith, The armored officer nodded slowly. Yes, and they hid their progress by showing US old, weak ships. We saw what they wanted us to see. A new alert chimed across the chamber. Urgent. Human colony site. Unusual core found. JYRN opened the incoming footage. A team of Concord soldiers stood deep inside a hidden vault on Eden 4, one of the recently abandoned human planets. They had broken through a false floor and discovered a chamber full of humming machines, round reactors, glowing crystals, metallic panels marked with Terran symbols. Counselor, a soldier said through the feed. These machines were active until recently. They were scanning something. What were they scanning? JYRN asked. The soldier sent a data packet. The results displayed instantly. It was a map, a three-dimensional shape, a region at the edge of the galaxy. Dark, empty, expanding. Scholar Minoth inhaled sharply. This is the eclipsed zone, where stars die without reason. No, the soldier replied. This is deeper analysis. The scanners show movement, not natural decay. JYRN felt cold. The darkness was spreading in a pattern. Slowly, predictably, purposefully. Yalith clenched her metal jaw. Humanity was tracking this. For how long? Decades, Pharaoh answered. Maybe longer. The soldiers continued exploring the chamber. They opened a final vault marked with Terran warning symbols. Inside they found a sealed black container. After several minutes, they forced it open. A single data chip fell out. When activated, it played the voice of a human scientist. To whoever finds this, we followed the ancestors' trail. We studied their machines. We learned why they fled. We tried to warn the Concord, but we knew they would not listen. So we prepared. Because what took them is coming back. The recording ended. Silence swept the hall. JYRN whispered. Humanity didn't vanish to run. Humanity vanished to fight. He stared at the map of the spreading darkness. The thing the ancestors feared. The thing humanity had discovered. The thing that was getting closer every year. He finally understood. Humans had never been weak. They had never been lost. They had been working in the shadows, building something the Concord couldn't even imagine. Preparing for a battle the whole galaxy had forgotten. A battle now rushing toward all of them. For 3 days, the Concord spiraled into panic. Fleets launched. Emergency councils met. Endless theories filled every hall. But none of it mattered, because no one knew the truth. Not until the fourth sunrise. Counselor JYRN was in a strategy meeting when every screen in the chamber suddenly turned black. All holograms froze. All lights dimmed. The air vibrated with a quiet hum. Someone shouted, "Who triggered a lockdown?" No one had. No one could. The hum deepened. Then a new image blossomed across every wall, every monitor, every projection pad in the entire station. A woman appeared. Human. Calm. Wearing a dark uniform with a small emblem of a star crossed by a silver arc, an insignia the Concord had never seen before. Behind her was a bridge full of human officers. Their uniforms were clean, formal, almost ceremonial. But what truly stole everyone's breath was the view through the massive window behind them. Gigantic warships drifted in silent formation. Colossal shapes. Smooth black armor. Lines of dim, shifting light crawling across their hulls like living constellations. Some ships looked human. Others looked nothing like anything built by a known species. Curved frames, circular cores, impossible angles. Hybrid designs. Human and ancestor. The woman spoke. "I am Admiral Sora Nix of the Terran Luminous Fleet." Her voice was calm, but carried a weight that froze the entire council chamber. "By now you have realized that humanity has withdrawn from the Concord. You have searched for us. You have tried to enter our systems. You have found only silence." The camera shifted slightly, revealing more of the enormous armada outside. "This silence was not an act of hostility," she continued. "It was an act of necessity." JYRN leaned forward slowly. His gills tightened. He felt the truth coming. "For 2 centuries, Sora said, our people have been studying the ruins left by the ancestors. We traced their steps. We decoded their warnings. We rebuilt what they left behind." She raised her hand. A star map appeared beside her, showing the galaxy, and at its edge, the expanding darkness. "This is the eclipsed zone. You call it a region of dead stars. You assume nature created it. You assume time destroyed its systems." Her voice grew quieter. "You assume wrong." Murmurs filled the council chamber. Admiral Yalith whispered, "Is she saying it's alive?" Sora continued, "The ancestors faced something they could not defeat. Something that devours light, matter, memory, and history. Something that leaves no survivors. They called it the Hollow Tide." JYRN felt a drop of cold fear in his stomach. Sora projected another image. It showed the Hollow Tide pressing against an ancient defensive wall, shields flickering, structures crumbling. The ancestors built a barrier to slow it. They failed. The screen switched back to the human armada. For 50 years, humanity has secretly rebuilt this barrier using ancestor knowledge and our own engineering. We have reactivated their stations. We have constructed thousands of shield platforms. We have linked entire star systems into a single defensive arc. She nodded slightly, as if acknowledging a hard truth. But we cannot hold it alone. She stepped aside. The camera zoomed out, showing the full Terran fleet, thousands of massive vessels stretching into infinity. These were not ships built by a weak, primitive species. These were warforms meant to stand against darkness itself. Sora spoke again. We hid our work because we knew the Concord would argue, debate, delay. We hid our strength because we needed time. But time is ending. Her eyes locked onto the camera. The Hollow Tide has entered the outer dust clouds of the Perseus Fringe. Our long-range sensors confirm its movement. It will make contact within the next 3 decades. Perhaps sooner. Shock rippled through the Concord. Some ambassadors gasped. Some collapsed into their seats. Others shook their heads in denial. Sora continued, unfazed. We are inviting the Concord to a neutral meeting point. There, your leaders may see our preparations. You may examine the ruins yourselves. You may witness the coming threat. New coordinates flashed across every display. Come if you wish to understand. Come if you wish to survive. But take care. Terran space is now sealed. No ship will enter uninvited. We cannot allow interference at this critical stage. She paused. And remember this. Humanity did not abandon you. We outgrew the role you forced upon us. The screen dimmed. Her last words echoed through the chamber like a pulse of gravity. In your eyes we were small. But in the eyes of the coming darkness, we are the first and last wall. The image vanished. Lights returned. Alarms resumed. The council was silent. JYRN stood frozen, staring at the empty screen. Humanity had not disappeared. They had simply stepped into the shadows. To build an army against something that made even the ancestors run. And now that army was calling them to witness the truth. The Concord did not sleep that night, or the next. Fear spread through the halls like cold smoke. Every species reacted differently. Some shouted for war. Some demanded peace. Some wanted to hide. Some simply refused to believe the truth. But in the end, they all agreed on one thing. They had to see it themselves. A small delegation was chosen. Counselor JYRN was among them. He boarded a sleek Concord ship, its hull shining, its engines sharp, and they set a course for the coordinates Admiral Sora Nyx had given. No one spoke during the flight. Even the ship seemed afraid. Hours later, the stars stretched and folded, and the ship emerged in a quiet region of space. At first, JYRN thought the navigation system had malfunctioned. Everything looked empty. No fleets. No stations. No meeting point. Just a silent star field. Then the darkness ahead shimmered. Shapes appeared. One by one. Slow and deliberate. Terran warships decloaked around them in a perfect sphere. Dozens at first. Then hundreds. Then thousands. Some were smooth, bright, and clearly human-made. Others were stranger. Massive rings, floating lattice frames, and spinning shapes that seemed to bend light as they moved. Hybrid Terran ancestor designs. Machines from 2 species separated by 10,000 years, now working together. JYRN whispered. They built an entire fortress here. No. A voice replied over their comms. You are only seeing the doorway. Admiral Sora Nyx's ship emerged from the center of the formation. The Concord vessel was guided forward like an honored guest, passing through a shimmering energy barrier, the surface of an enormous shield arc. Inside was a breathtaking sight. A wall of light stretched across the void, thousands of kilometers long. Golden anchor stations, blue shield reservoirs, spinning gravity rings. And beyond them, the dark horizon. Not normal darkness. A wrong darkness. A hungry darkness. The eclipsed zone. The hollow tide. It looked like ink swallowing the stars. a slow-moving curtain of nothingness creeping across the galaxy. Counselor Jyrn felt his breath catch. By the stars, he whispered. It's real. Admiral Sora appeared beside them through a projection link. This is only the edge. The tide has already consumed thousands of systems. We estimate it will reach this wall in 20 to 30 years. And then, Jyrn asked softly. Then we fight, she said. Or we fall. Earth's armada did not look frightened. It looked ready. Terran engineers worked alongside strange drones shaped like ancient symbols. Soldiers trained in zero-gravity chambers. Entire command hubs glowed with blue light as hybrid computers processed data faster than the Concorde had ever seen. Sora turned toward the dark horizon. Your council believed we ran because you mocked us, she said. But pride never mattered to humanity. Survival did. She gestured toward the vast defensive arc. We built this alone. But we cannot hold it alone. Jyrn's voice trembled. Why tell us now? Sora looked at him with calm, human eyes. Because now you will listen. The delegation stood silently as the hollow tide pulsed. Just a faint tremor, a heartbeat of darkness. But even that tiny movement sent ripples through the sensors and shook the shield wall. How many ships do you have? A Concorde admiral finally asked. Sora responded. 5,000 ready. 3,000 under construction. And 50 ancestor stations fully restored. Enough to stand. Not enough to advance. And what do you want from us? Jyrn asked. Sora answered with simple honesty. Join us. Stand with us. Learn with us. Fight with us. She held out her hand, not physically, but symbolically, through the projection. The hollow tide will not stop at Terran borders, she said. It will come for every world, every species, every star. You are not our enemies. You are our future allies, or our future ghosts. Jyrn stepped forward. He didn't speak for the entire Concorde, but he spoke for himself, and for the fear and hope trembling inside him. We will stand with you. Sora bowed her head. Then humanity welcomes you to the first line. Behind her, the shield wall glowed brighter. The armada shifted into new formations. Warning sirens hummed softly. Because deep in the darkness, barely visible, something moved again. A second pulse. Stronger. Closer. The hollow tide had noticed the light. And it was coming. The last image before the scene faded was simple. Humans, standing at the edge of the galaxy, preparing to fight the night itself. And finally, not standing alone.